tututi se petre, kaira batu suere matres pura, tacerente, kutu. Piriku tutte rispagliano gen, sukuya matosya, tapakutro spiratu, okura. Kutira masunda na yere sira, tepaka utro spagna, te tutte. Sometimes I just don't know what to call this. I know what it is, but for me the term cosmic sounding came forth from someone, and I really liked that term. But it really is as well an alchemical transmission. It is alchemizing all of your bodies, your physical, emotional, mental, and so forth, right? It's alchemizing you. And so there is spiritual transfiguration and activation, initiation, all of that is going on, transforming something within you. So it's really about just, there's nothing to do. It's really about just sitting back and listening with all that you are, and closing your eyes and just allowing yourself to receive, whatever it is in this moment that you're meant to receive.
And so for every code that I received, I started to get a message to accompany each code. So it was almost like my higher self was speaking to me. And it was giving me like blueprints of what I had established before coming into incarnation, what I had set up to do, what I wanted to live, different themes to play out in my experience. I feel like it's the first language, to be quite honest, and I feel like it's the derivative upon which all other languages have been established. So there's a little bit of it being reflected by other language. I don't think it's the other way around. I think light language is the source, the original language, the frequency-based language is the source upon which all other derivatives of language are built. So there's a little bit of all of it in different pieces of language everywhere. So I think it's all of our heritage.
It just always felt very ancient and primordial, and not necessarily connected with just a star race. However, there would be times when, like I can feel the Syrian High Council, they're here, and I'm speaking and I can feel it's them. But I would say that it changes, but my base, maybe foundational light language, maybe I'd call it that, it feels much more ancient and primal. Most people say kind of a Lemurian feel. So in order to have this experience here on Earth, there's certain patterns I feel in our field that had to be distorted so that we could forget, so that we could have this earthly experience. So I feel like the light language is reconfiguring that so that we can now remember.
One day, I remember the birds were chirping and I was meditating and my fingers started moving. And they were moving in this beautiful way that was like a ballet. And, it's almost an out of the body experience because I was watching my hand. And then the other hand replicated it perfectly, it was very intricate. And it was like, it matched. And, if you consciously moved your hands and then tried to move it perfectly at the other end, you can't do it. So it was just like, well, this is remarkable. And I started moving energy. I could feel the hands were shifting things. I could feel the energy changing in my body, and I could tell, higher energy was coming in. I was moving the stuff that needed to go out, and the hands were helping me. And then all of a sudden, the hand movements were joined by sounds. But when it first started, I knew exactly what it was. I knew my body was being cleared. I knew my energy was being balanced. I knew that, it was basically, my guide was saying, it was a spiritual waste system. We're getting rid of the waste. But I remember it felt like an angel was touching me right here. I mean, it was just the softest little touch when I was doing the light language.
I had a practice always to sit at my altar and meditate, and I would chant, speaking in tongue. And this particular time, something just blossomed out of my mouth, and it was not tongues, it was something else. And it sounded Asian, and it was fast, very, very fast. So fast, I could not keep up with it. That continued for quite some time, taking a shower, it would just start flowing and flowing and flowing. And it was wonderful. It's just really, really wonderful. Speaking in tongues, I believe, also comes from the soul, and I believe light language comes from the soul as well. But I think with speaking in tongue, it's contained within the religious dogma. Light language is something different. It's also, for me, it's also a language of the soul. It's a multi-dimensional language. We are multi-dimensional beings. I believe it's higher frequency. It's an expansive frequency. There's sacred geometry within. There's light codes within. There's color, sound frequencies. It's so much more than speaking in tongue. And if you have done both, you feel the difference.
The language and the energy knows who needs it, when they need it, and how they need it. And so I learned to just surrender and say, okay, can we just not please do this in the grocery store, in the supermarket, please? I need to share what the ancient mothers have put out there, that this is a time for us to co-create and rebirth a new world. The old way of doing things and the old world is it's not existing, and so it is important for each of us to find our frequency. And for many of us, we can just say, I'm listening, I'm open to receiving my frequency, so that I can consciously rebirth, co-create and rebirth a new world from the inside out.
This completes our transmission.